What is art exactly? Well, essentially, it is the study of the human soul, whereas history would track what civilization has done in their past and why it occurred and the events that played out and how they played out. Art would be the study of the human psyche during those times and sort of the unspoken details of society at that point in time. This is why you should study art history, because it is above and beyond just what happened in our past and what happens now in the world and the way it works. But it's a way to understand why people feel the way they do at these points in times. So art can be subjective in the sense of interpretation and what people get out of it at certain points and times in their life, such as a romantic comedy if they have relationship issues, or an action movie if they're wanting to see something that excites them, or a comedy if they're in the mood for some laughs. But overall, art is to communicate on a level that goes beyond any subject of math or science. It's more of a sort of spiritual study, and there's a lot of things that you could understand about yourselves and those around you the more you look into the practice of art. Now, the styles of art and what passes art has changed over time because the human mind has changed over time with new inventions and new political systems and belief systems. So that would be why in the beginning of time, or very long ago, these sculptures that represented the human form would be the ultimate pinnacle of what was beautiful, because at that time people only really had an intellectual understanding of themselves and how they worked, and they wanted to pursue finding that out. And then through Romanticism, you get a little bit more of the darker aspect of the human psyche, and essentially more nihilistic beliefs due to thinking outside of the general societal norms and religious norms, and leading to question the rest of reality around oneself. And all of this is very, very important for us to know in order to understand why people do things that they do. And I believe that art history is very, very helpful in understanding this, because of the ideas portrayed through art that one couldn't do as easily through just showing actions. Now, even today, art is still a very big part of how people feel and how people go through their daily lives. Essentially, now the main form of art that is taken over is postmodernism, and essentially it's focused almost purely on individuals and what they want to communicate to the rest of the world from their own point of view, which is a little bit different from in the past, say like in World War II, when people wanted to communicate their feelings about the tragedies and the devastation going on around them, and how art became a way for them to express that. Whereas now in the modern day, whenever we don't have any, major like global tragedies going on, and a lot of the issues that we have are pretty easily solved by technology. So now we have the postmodern style of art, which essentially relies purely on the individual and what they feel their place is in a world with all of this new ideas and all of this new history surrounding it. And essentially that is a very good indication of where society can head in its future. And the art of society at any point in time is truly expressive of that time. And for that reason, you should definitely study art history.